Hello everyone, and welcome to another royal reading here at MadWorldTarot. Today we are looking at one of my favorite topics, the Parkle finances. And that's why we have a money card on the cover of the Pretense tarot. We're sticking with a nice simple tarot today. It's Rider Waite with some lovely helpful keywords. We're going to look at money. And the reason we're looking at money is because there's a rumor going around from a well-known source on social media who claims to have inside info through a family member who's in the business, in the industry in Hollywood, and she claims to know all about everything. And she says, and very recently she has said this on social media, that the Parkles are out of money. Basically, they are broke. And this source says that Meghan likes to spend all day flipping through magazines, I suppose, while the staff does all the heavy lifting and looking after the kids and all of that. And then she buys, if she can't get freebies, then she shops online and spends all kinds of money that allegedly she shouldn't be spending because it belongs to various charities. That's the rumor. I am not saying that that is true at all. I'm just saying what the source is claiming. And Harry would be quite happy in a hovel, that is my word, but he doesn't aspire to living in luxury, whereas Madame very obviously does, as we've seen from all the expensive beige cashmere that she drapes herself with day after day. A very tedious look, in my opinion. But anyway, that's the story. Apparently, the mansion, mudslide mansion, has become a bit of a white elephant. Again, my words, not hers. That Meghan bought it thinking she'd be able to flip it without spending any money on it, because it would, there'd be a scramble to buy it because it had royal, cachet, previously owned by Prince and Princess. But no, not so much. And now they can't allegedly afford to maintain the money pit. So that's the story, that's the rumor. As I say, it is just a rumor from a source that I don't rate very highly personally, I have to say. But anyway, we're going to check this out because I do like to check in on their finances every now and then to see where things are. Because I think if things get seriously bad, then that's the end of Harry and Meghan. That's my personal opinion. There's the Nine of Pentacles, the financially self-sufficient lady. She keeps showing up today. That's the hope from the lady who spends all day flipping through magazines, I guess. My opinion. Let's remind you, it is all my opinion. It's tarot. It's for fun and entertainment. It's all my opinion, all speculation, all energy. I just read energy here. And of course, there is a disclaimer in the box below. I'm going to do a Celtic cross, just looking generally at their finances and what is going on. And is there a panic on behind the scenes? What's at the root of it all? If there is a problem, that kind of stuff. You know the drill. Celtic crosses, and no particular tweaks. A little tweak here and there, because I do like to tweak things. And let's see what we have. What the Apprentice Tarot has to tell us about conditions, financial conditions in Montecito. There we go. And we've got the Three of Cups in reverse. That's the friendship and party card when it's up, right? No cause for celebration. That's putting it bluntly. It also tells me, because it's the party card in reverse, it tells me that there might be a bit of heavy. We know she likes her day drinking because we see it endlessly. We saw it endlessly on the show, the Netflix show. And I got nothing against day drinking personally, but there was a lot of it. Obviously, quite a lifestyle choice, and it's alleged that day drinking might have had something to do with the problems between Meghan and Sophie Chanduka at the polo when everything went south with Centre Bali. So it's possible that there is some day drinking going on here with that Three of Cups in reverse. Definitely a bit glum. Shea Parkle, shall we say. Let's see the actual situation. That's our underlying energy, which sits under everything. So Oh dear, much worse. 10 of Cups in reverse. The happy family card, happy ever after. Not so much when it's in reverse. Family problems, dysfunction, upset, unhappy. Definitely things are not good on the home front. Not at all. Not a happy home. This is not what they dreamed of when they set off to find their fortunes with their little knapsacks on their backs. You know, those little sticks with a little cloth, sort of kerchief thing wrapped with your little sandwich and your apple, and off you go with your stick. Not quite. So we're getting confirmation that there's a problem in Montecito. It's not giving me financial problems, but it's giving me very unhappy vibes and disappointment, even devastation at the way things have gone. We're reading for both of them in this reading. Their joint energy, such as it is. What's the particular problem here with this 10 of Cups in reverse? And the problem is they have reached this moment where they actually have to, they're going to have to act. It's not quite how I read the Two of Swords, the way this tarot describes the Two of Swords. It's normally upright. You kind of reach this crossroads place and you don't quite know what to do. And reverse, you're like, okay, well, I'm just going to have to dive into it, whatever, regardless of the outcome. But it is indecision. It is being confused. It is having too many options and just not knowing what's the right way to go. And so they're faced with this decision. Maybe they're faced with decisions like need to sell the mudslide mansion but can't. Or it's going to be humiliating, or what are they going to do if they sell the mansion and then they've got to go and live somewhere else. And it's not, I'm being sneery about them because I don't like either of them at this point and what they've done to other people, innocent people, defenseless people. That's my opinion about them. But I certainly know that roundabout in my world, people are faced with those kinds of decisions because life is so jolly hard for people. So Snark switched right off, just commenting a social comment while I'm doing this tarot reading that I know from very personal experience that some people are really going through it and having to face those kinds of decisions. But it looks like Snark back on. Harry and Meghan might be in a similar boat. So there it is for what it's worth. What's going on? What's at the root of it? What's going on that we don't know about, we should know about? What's hidden from us? This is having to get quite cunning about things and quite strategic about things and make some quite difficult decisions. We've got decisions at the heart of this reading. Basically, the Two of Swords is a decision card. And when it's in reverse, very difficult decisions that you might want to avoid making because they are so painful. So if you're going to have to let go of an asset like Mudslide Mansion that hasn't worked out the way you thought it was going to go according to the source on social media, then it's going to be quite brutal. You're going to have to be quite ruthless about it. Maybe you need to cut other things away as well. Maybe you need to come up with a whole new plan, a whole new strategy, Queen of Swords. Maybe you thought you were whip smart because this card and tarot generally is the root cause of things. I tweak it a bit in these readings because I very often want to know what I'm not seeing that's going on down in the depths. But root cause, somebody who thought she was whip smart and so strategic and had it all planned. Well, maybe she's not that smart after all. Just saying. So what are their minds on right now? What are they busy with? Six of Wands, they need to get out there and promote themselves. They need to come across as very confident, very successful, as if everything's brilliant. They're winning. I saw this winning energy in a reading that I did of Harry Where to Write a Book, and I got all this winning energy and it sat strangely with me. It bothered me afterwards. And this energy is more, I can access it more easily as an energy reader. And this tells me it's a pretense of success. And I think that would apply to that previous reading as well. That they can claim, oh, well, The podcast was in the top 10 in its first week. And I can't even remember what the stupid thing is called at this point. The Netflix show was in the top 10 in the first week. Never mind, it's in the bottom 1,000 in the second and third week. That kind of thing. Claiming, snatching victory from the jaws of defeat. Mixing and mushing things badly here. But that's the kind of thing that's going on here. Let's pretend we're doing brilliantly. Let's insert ourselves in the time 100 thing that's happening in the next few days and pretend that we are tremendously successful. You get the picture. I'm banging on. So let's go back a bit in time and look at expectations and what's been going on. Whatever universe wants to tell us, here is the worry card that I've been waiting to see. 9 of Swords. Anxiety, ruminating about problems, mentally haunted, self-blame. I don't think that either of them is capable of that, but certainly some insomnia which might have to be remedied with some day drinking. The 9 of Swords is a very unfortunate card. Tossing and turning. Oh, what are we going to do? Who can we borrow from? Possibly that kind of energy. Go with begging bowl out and about to the famous friends. I don't think anyone's going to give them a large donation at this point. I think they've used up all of that kind of generosity. I don't think the royals are going to take their calls if they phone the Bank of Pa. I think the Bank of Pa is permanently closed at this point. They have problems. Clearly, from this reading, they do have problems. And I read on this periodically. I think most recent reading didn't look so bad. I think there was still some optimism about maybe all Meghan's stuff that was coming down the pike, all the silly things she's launched this year. They're going to be a billionaire. Who wants to be a billionaire? Meghan Markle and Doria. We're going to look at that next. A little juicy tidbit from Neil Sean a while back. We're going to look at about who actually runs the household and the purse strings. Who holds the purse strings in the household? I think we all know. What's coming next? Good improvement or a disimprovement? One of my worst words. Least favorite words. It looks like my least favorite word is going to win. It's a transition card, difficult transition, resistance to change, pulled back into turmoil. There we have it. The 6 of Swords, if it was upright, they would be improving. They would be putting some distance between themselves and their problems. But no. Cards in reverse, the problems are ongoing, not so easily solved. Can't click your heels and go somewhere else. Not even those step up heels, those built up heels that Harry wears, and those teetering stilettos that she wears. Not going to work. So let's see who's bringing the bacon. Where's the money coming from at this point? We're not going to say USAID, Centre Bali, Invictus Games. We're not going to say those things. We're going to ask who's actually bringing in money at this point, tweaking the Celtic cross. Nobody. I would say that both of them are almost a bit manic at this stage, rushing about. Harry, we know, is blowing a fortune on court cases, even though I suspect he's got one of those orders that this latest thing isn't going to cost him that much money. It's still going to cost him a bit if he loses. But this is the card of just being overwhelmed, of trying too many things all at once. As it says, need to focus on one thing. There's too much going on, too many things. Meghan has launched too many things all at once, and they've all flopped all at once. Harry, well, he was remotely involved in that polo thing. He showed up with his dear Nacho, and that was about it that he managed to do for that. So goodness knows what Harry does every day. We know that he's not hands-on with his charities unless he needs to fly to Ukraine or even pretend to fly to Ukraine. There's some doubt about that, we all know at this point. But Harry doesn't seem capable of doing anything. I have no idea what he does every day. Maybe he spends time with the kids. Please, he's not involved in... Please God, sorry, he's not involved in homeschooling them at any level. But what does he do? We know he lost interest in Senta Bali when he married herself. We know that in Victor's games, he only shows up for the glory moments when it actually happens. He's got no more Netflix deals. I don't know what he does as Chimpo. I don't know what he does. What else is there? What does Harry do? Nothing. I think this card references her and this spattergun approach to launching everything all at once. And none of it sticks. It's a disaster. Pressure that they are under. 6 of Cups. Oh, yearning for the good old days. Memories of youth, the simple joys. Nostalgia. I think it's particularly Harry's energy here. That Harry wants back in the royal family. Harry wants out of this mess, this disaster, this unhappy home, the financial stress. I'm sure it's trickled down to him. I'm sure he's been made aware that there are financial problems and do something about it and stop spending all our money on court cases. But Harry wants home. He wants home to those innocent days where he didn't have to worry about these things. Other people worried about them for him. Do have a look at my next reading with regard to that 6 of Cups. So, yeah. It's not pressure, it's wishful thinking. It's not wishful thinking, it's if only I could go back in time to those happy days. Hopes and fears for the delightful duo. And we have, oh yeah, the Wheel of Fortune. Oh, how they wish, how they hope that their luck is going to change, it's going to swing their way, and they're going to be saved at the last moment. And turning point, absolutely, that suddenly from being down in the depths, they're going to be lifted up to the dizzying heights of being billionaires. That's what they hope. Oh, how's it going to go for them? Is it going to improve? Are they going to get out of this jam? Or not? We got the Justice card. Yeah. Paying the consequences, an interesting little keyword there or phrase, isn't it? Paying the consequences, justice for me in this situation. Yeah, it does mean reaping what you've sowed. It is upright. Normally, it would be more positive than negative with the Justice card being upright, but the big energy that's coming off that card is there might be consequences in terms of splitting assets in a divorce or a separation, something like that, oh well, it didn't work out, boo-hoo. Now we're going to, like in the old days, you divided your CDs. I don't know where that came from, but it's kind of like that. Kind of breakup energy, but much more serious. Who gets Mudslide Mansion? Who gets well, I guess all the trust stuff is safely in Harry's name and ring fenced, and the royal family are keeping a beady eye on all of that kind of stuff. So I doubt Harry's going to be destitute at the end of all of this. But who gets whatever's left over from Netflix and Spotify and Penguin Random House and whatever else, the deals that they've got, all of that. Who's going to get that stuff? That's how that card is reading for me, that it might come down to that kind of stuff. It might come down to also being in debt. And the house is mortgaged, allegedly. Neil Sean is the source for that. This house that Megan thought she was going to flip and make a fortune out of, mortgaged to the hilt, possibly, can't make the payments. I've seen that before. That this is a bit of a looming menace for them. So I think they're going to be in legal trouble. They're going to be legal proceedings, untangling this mess at some stage. That's going to be fun to watch if we get wind of it. This kind of stuff normally goes on behind closed doors, but I'm sure we hear about it somehow. People magazine, wherever, Radar online. That's the reading. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.